Welcome to New York, Dezeen. I'm Stephen Burks. My studio is called Ready Made Projects. I feel like New York is finally getting a jump start. I mean, the economy is growing incrementally, but you really feel like New York City especially has become more of an international city. The recession really affected the mood of the city over the past 5, 6, 7 years, and now things are turning around for sure. There wasn't an emphasis on great international architects working in New York. But today it's a kind of selling point. You know, you look at the 40 Bond project by Herzog de Meuron and how that one building began the transformation of a little neighborhood. All of a sudden, the condo across the street has to compete architecturally. So in New York, you have to understand everything is about this commercial context. Everything is about capitalism at the end of the day. And culture here isn't necessarily culture for culture's sake, right? So a great architect is hired because it allows them to sell the building on a different level or allows that building to compete with the building across the street. So I think it's more a relationship to commerce here in New York. My neighborhood is the West Village. We're here on the west side of Manhattan. We're about a block from the river, a couple blocks from my house, just down that street. We're gonna do a little tour of the west side because I live here in the West Village and my studio is about a mile away, further north in Chelsea. Also in Chelsea, you got the High Line, of course. It's really transformed the west side of New York. It kind of flows right down the center of the Gallery District. When I first got to New York, the west side was where all the clubs were. You know, it was very fringe over here. It was actually a little bit dangerous, you know, it was crazy. I think the galleries really transformed Chelsea. I think that it was moving from Soho north to Chelsea where they could find more space for the money, and that was really, I think, the beginning of the transformation of the West Side. When you look at how that in turn allowed funding for the High Line to even happen and how that brought more tourists and then the fashion scene came on in the Meatpacking District, and so it's really become a different place. I think, you know, all of a sudden New Yorkers are interested in quality of life. Just over here you can see that we're starting to get these Citi Bikes coming. You subscribe to the system and then you can borrow a bike anywhere in the city and return it, just like you have in London or you have in Paris. And it's the kind of thing that could have never happened in New York 15, 20 years ago. I mean, these things would have been vandalized and completely trashed. And now it's the idea that there will be an electronic system where you can rent a bike and return it is just, it doesn't seem New York to me. It seems like people would normally steal these things and they'd be for sale on 2nd Avenue or something, you know? But I think it's amazing. It's really, it's part of the, you know, New York opening its doors to the world.